Hi guys, Mrs. Nagy here again. I just decided that I would read to you guys a story just for fun. So this isn't an assignment, this isn't something you have to do. It's totally up to you if you want to listen in, or you can just close this video and not do it at all. But just for fun, I'm going to read to you one of my favorite stories that is called This Moose Belongs to Me. And this was written by one of my favorite authors, Oliver Jeffers. I have a whole bunch of his books, and whenever he comes out with a new one, I buy it right away because I just love his pictures and I think his stories are funny. So, without further ado, I will start the book. So this is This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. There's just a little cover page that says the same thing. This moose belongs to me. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he knew. He just knew it was meant to be his. He thought that he would call him Marcel. And you can see that he's written a little name tag for Marcel and put it on him so that nobody confuses the name. He began following Marcel, explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening, but Wilfred knew that he was, mostly because the moose followed rule number 4 very well. And rule number 4 was not making too much noise while Wilfred played his record collection. So there's Wilfred playing his records and the moose not making too much noise. What do we think, friends? Do we think that the moose is doing a good job at that rule, or is he just being a regular moose who doesn't make too much noise? He looks very happy. Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored rule number 7, which was going whichever way Wilfred wanted to go. You can see he's kind of mad. He's trying to push him in the right direction, but the moose doesn't seem to care. Trying to get the picture in for you. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not. And because the moose was particularly poor at rule number 7, subsection B, maintaining a certain proximity to home, so that just means that the rule is that they had to stay close to the house. Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on the outings so he could find his way back again. So he's got some string there. What do we think he's going to do with it? If he's going to use it with the moose to help him find his way home, what do you think? Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble at all with rule number 11, providing shelter from the rain. So that would be pretty handy, right, friends? If we were outside in the rain with a moose, we could just sit underneath it. He also had no trouble with rule number 16, which was knocking down things out of Wilfred's reach. And you can see that he is knocking down apples for him. And Wilfred is over in the corner saying, "Good work." One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. Look what he's doing with them. He's just out by the falls, exploring in a barrel. What do you think the terrible discovery might be? Are you ready? Someone else thought they owned the moose. You can see the lady going, "Rodrigo, you're back!" Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it was only proper to correct her. And he's saying, "This moose belongs to me," he explained. Whose moose do you think it is? Is it Wilfred's, or do you think it's hers? to prove it, he called Marcel. And he's saying, heel, like how you say to a dog when you want it to walk by you. But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. So why do you think he's liking the old lady more than Wilfred right now? And the lady's saying, good Rodrigo. Fine. Look how unhappy he looks with his little eyebrows and the gray cloud above his head. Embarrassed and enraged, so that kind of means mad, Wilfred rushed off for home. But in his haste, that means when he was going so quickly, in his haste, and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and he got tangled up. Uh-oh. What's he gonna do? He's all stuck. And there he lay. Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was past his home time now, and the monsters would be out for sure. What do you think he's gonna do? He's all tangled up. He had just ruled out the last of his options when along came the moose. So look at the options he was thinking of using. He was thinking maybe a bear would come save him with an axe, or maybe if he had a hammer, or if lightning came, or a swordfish, or a saw, or a penguin. The penguin's from some of his other books. That's why that's silly and in there. But he decided none of those would work. The moose is here. And the moose performed rule number 73 brilliantly, which was rescuing your owner from perilous situations. So that means dangerous situations. Now I want you to take a look. The moose is taking a bite of the apple down here. Do you think he meant to save Wilfred, or do you think it was an accident? All was forgiven, and perhaps, Wilfred admitted, he'd never really owned the moose anyway. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules. And you can see in here, one of his rules he's making up is that he has to bring him drinks like a waiter. But the moose would only follow that rule whenever it suited him. So he doesn't look too happy. It looks like the moose is not following the rule this time. And then on the very last page, look at this. It's an old man we haven't seen yet that says, "Dominic, you're back!" So what do you think, friends? Did Wilfred really own that moose, or was he just a wild moose? If you want to, as a follow-up activity, you can draw a picture of a pet you would like to have doing something that would be one of your rules. So for instance, for me, I would make my cat's rule that they have to bring me pizza. So I would draw a picture of my cat bringing me pizza, and then I'd write that sentence underneath. But you totally don't have to. That's up to you. If you do it, you can send it to me in an email, and it will make me very happy to see. But if you don't, I hope you enjoyed the story anyway. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great week.